How's it going? Welcome back to a very special episode of the Savior Show today, because here we are with another yearly review. We're going to be taking a look at Sea of Thieves in 2024. Now, I did cover this game last year, but it has changed a lot just in 1 year, and now that it's come out on PS5, it's been updated, there is now the Sea of Thieves 2024 edition. I thought it would be worth giving you a quick Sea of Thieves 2024 review and look back at what this game was and how far it's come, how much it's changed since so many people enjoyed it last time. Sea of Thieves in 2024 has continued to thrive and improve over time, and in this Sea of Thieves 2024 review, I'm going to go over the most notable changes and enhancements made in the 2024 edition of Sea of Thieves. So the first positive is the striking visual enhancements. One of the most striking improvements in 2024, I would say, is the visual fidelity of Sea of Thieves, because it has come a long way compared to what it looked like before. The game has undergone massive changes with enhanced water physics, dynamic weather systems, and improved lighting effects. So it's definitely a looker now for the next gen, because finally we're actually utilizing the next gen capabilities, because let's be honest, next gen hasn't done shit and we haven't got any, proper next gen games, to be honest. But at least Sea of Thieves has got updated over the time, kind of like No Man's Sky. It has had enhancements, so that is very good. These changes have been made already to a beautiful game, in my opinion. So now we've got expanded story content as well, like the DLCs with the Pirates of the Caribbean and all that kind of stuff. And I think the addition of fully voiced cutscenes and dialogue in this game has made it feel much more AAA, even though AAA games are pretty much dead at this point. This does feel like a proper full release now, because on release, if you remember, it had absolutely nothing.
So there's nothing new going on, huh? Nothing different?
Now, before this video begins, I just want to humbly ask that you do subscribe to the channel. It would only take you 2 seconds of your time, but it means absolutely everything to me. I'm putting everything that I am into this channel now every single day, so please do leave a like, subscribe, and consider supporting me by dropping a small donation on PayPal or as a thanks, or even checking out my Patreon that I just created, as I am trying to go full-time with this now. Making this many videos is difficult, and I'm doing it as a real goddamn human, okay? Not a goddamn AI, which I'm sure most content creators will get replaced by. I've already seen a few trying to steal my content ideas, so it's very difficult at the moment, so please do consider supporting the show, and I do hope you enjoy this video. I think it's worth hammering down and putting the final nail in the coffin of Sea of Thieves and looking at it in its final form, the Sea of Thieves 2024 edition. So let's go. So the regions and biomes now are a little bit more diverse compared to what they were on release, and the Sea of Thieves 2024 edition definitely highlights that a lot more, because exploration remains the cornerstone of Sea of Thieves. In 2024, the game world has expanded with new regions and biomes, from frozen tundras to lush tropical islands. Each new area offers unique challenges and opportunities, and actually different enemy types as well, so it's not all the same thing, just constant skeletons. And yes, you can still cheese, the outposts and some of the enemies out in sea, but mostly now there is a lot of diversity within the enemy variation and stuff like that. And these new biomes come with their own set of flora and fauna, and now we actually get some environmental dangers as well when you're crossing the sea. And I just like that, seeing what's off in the distance and then going and burying your treasure there, or perhaps you're being chased by another player or another enemy ship. Now you can have massive fights with krakens and all this kind of stuff. And I love the underwater dungeons as well, like when you find a bubbly spot in the ocean, now when you go down, there's a whole massive dungeon to explore underwater, because that was kind of missing on release, but now that's been updated, because they were all very samey before, but now, like I said, each dungeon feels a little bit more unique, and there are some light puzzles to be found in the dungeons as well. The user-made content keeps this game feeling fresh and basically adds much more replayability to the game now, when before there was kind of just the same things to do over and over again, but now there's a lot more added. The quality of lives added to Sea of Thieves over the time has also been improved, because they've actually listened to feedback, for example, and there is definitely quality of life included now with enhancements like a better user interface, more intuitive inventory management, and improved matchmaking systems. And basically it just all works now. It just works, and I am happy about that. I know Sea of Thieves got a lot of criticism and hate on launch, which is very fair, I would say, but I think that over time they have added to it. Just like with No Man's Sky, they never gave up and they've continued updating it. The combat is just much more better now, there's way more enemies to engage with, and just different events always happening. So for people who are invested in this game, you actually get something out of it. And now that is much bigger because it's on the PS5, PC, and Xbox. I feel like Sea of Thieves in 2024 is finally worth checking out. If you haven't done it before, last year was good, but this year is even better because they've just added so much content, and it is a sandbox game, but you can play it in any way that you want now.
People always talk about things as like succeed or fail, and I think it's way more nuanced than that. There's also people that will continue to come in to Sea of Thieves a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, and that's the way we think about it. Like, you know, I say, hey, we've invested 3 years of our lives and hearts and souls into making Sea of Thieves, but if it's people are playing it in 5 years or 10 years, and it's a very different shaped game, that's awesome for us as well.
The key takeaway is that Sea of Thieves has changed a lot in 2024. There's the arena mode, the adventure mode, and PvP is just way more refined now and a lot more fun. Also now with Season 12, they've actually added a whole bunch of, you know, different weapon types and more customization. I still don't think that Sea of Thieves nailed the progression. That's always been something that I've just didn't like with Sea of Thieves. I never felt like, you know, I was truly progressing because a lot of it is still just customization based. But you can rank up with the different guilds and stuff like that. So it does have a kind of light MMO approach to it. But luckily, as it is kind of a live service game, it's not filled to the brim with greedy practices. Of course, there are things in Sea of Thieves that I don't like, but still, it's not the worst offender, so I guess it gets some props for that. But I just like the fact that they made it much more of a proper game now, you know, with different little story modes that you can go and do. So although some of the stuff is the same, like skeleton outposts and different islands, they've added way more to it now, so there's even more things to discover and explore, and the skeleton outposts have actually been redesigned and they're not all the same anymore, which is good. And the fact that now you have new boarding methods, you know, like zip lining across and all that kind of stuff, the game feels fleshed out now, and it is a beautiful game, and it's one of those games that you just have to experience, you know. It's even fun solo, but obviously with multiplayer, it's just so much better playing with other people. And I always thought the core of Sea of Thieves was good, you know, having to patch up your ship when it gets blown apart, running down and, you know, scooping up the water in a bucket and chucking it out frantically before the ship just completely gets destroyed and then you're under the water drowning in your own ship. That's exciting. That's what we want from a Pirates game, and that's what Skull and Bones completely failed at, and they just don't understand what we want from a Pirates game. It's that grand sense of adventure, and yes, it is cartoony, it's not a serious Pirates game, but as far as Pirates game go, I think this is probably the best you can get, and it does have a nice fantasy setting. You can drink grog with your buddies, and, you know, I just like that kind of tactical ship-to-ship combat, because it can be. You can even go and board the other enemy ship and kind of sabotage them. Now you can even use harpoons and, you know, walk across them and stuff like that. There is some nice physical-based gameplay in this. There is some nice physics-based gameplay involved in this, and like I said, maintaining and managing your ship, patching it up, and all that kind of stuff. They just never nailed the progression. That's the only really downside I can say to Sea of Thieves. And now, even the skeleton outposts, you know, they've got better because there's added puzzles in them, and the dungeons are way more fleshed out. And then you do have these kind of mini campaigns if you want to engage with that. It's been visually overhauled, lots and lots of things added, and finally, enemy diversity. It is a lot better compared to what it was even last year, and I think that they are finally slowing down, but I would say that this is the complete package. I won't be covering this game again, because now it's on all the consoles, PS5 and everything. Sea of Thieves is worth it in 2024, and if you're wondering, should you play Sea of Thieves in 2024, or is Sea of Thieves worth it in 2024, I think finally, it is. The Sea of Thieves 2024 edition has got all of the updates, and the dungeons are something I enjoy personally. The ship-to-ship PvP combat is just more refined, better balanced, new weapons. So I honestly think it is worth your time, and it's just one of those games where you get that immersive feeling, that sense of adventure, you know, going out there and exploring. I do enjoy Sea of Thieves, but I do think it is now at the end of its life cycle, but I just thought I would cover it as I did last year. I do hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please do subscribe and leave a like for this video before I get replaced by AI. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.